Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and this is my first round mock draft, the 2016 NFL Draft. So let's get straight into it. With the number one pick, Tennessee Titans select Laremy Tunsil out of Ole Miss. I think this is a safe pick, and they're going to try to protect their quarterback in Mariota against J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans being their biggest opponent in the division. Next one are the Cleveland Browns, who are going to select Paxton Lynch out of Memphis. I think with a new approach to the management there, they're going to look more statistically. And statistically speaking, Paxton Lynch is the best quarterback in this year's draft. Now, at the number 3 position in the draft, the San Diego Chargers will select Ronnie Stanley out of Notre Dame. Well, a lot of people think Joey Bosa will not drop low as the 4 or later picks, but I think Chargers will already have locked in with the offensive tackle and will not panic and won't draft the Ohio State's edge rusher. Now, number 4 are Dallas Cowboys, and they select Joey Bosa, the edge rusher out of Ohio State. With Ray Hardy basically not coming next year to Cowboys, I think this fate as a wonderful pick to end in the top 4. Now, at the number 5 position, the Jacksonville Jaguars will select Jalen Ramsey out of Florida State. He's a safety, he can play corner, but he will probably play safety. The Jaguars needing man in the secondary, and I think he is a great pickup. Now to the next one, the Baltimore Ravens, with the number 6 pick in the draft, will select Vernon Hargreaves III, the quarterback out of Florida, with needs at both corner and safety for Baltimore, who had a poor pass defense last year. I think gonna have a great corner, the best corner in this year's draft. With the 7th pick in the draft, the San Francisco 49ers will go with a wide receiver, Laquen Treadwell out of Ole Miss. Now, a lot of people think they could be drafting quarterback with Kaepernick there. I think Chip Kelly will give him a year. If he's not good, they will draft or sign a free agent quarterback next year. But for now, they need a wide receiver of their future. I think Chip Kelly likes a fast wide receiver, and that's what they're gonna get in Laquen Treadwell out of Ole Miss. With the 8th pick in the draft, the Miami Dolphins will select Myles Jack, a linebacker out of UCLA, and he will be a great player at that linebacker position, as he can play everywhere at the linebacker position. Of course, he's coming off that knee injury that he suffered at the start of the season, but reports are that he could be back as soon as the NFL Combine. With them having a huge need at the linebacker position, this all makes sense. Now to the next team are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who going to select DeForest Buckner out of Oregon, and I think this is a great pick with team-leading players in all levels. In defense, they are going to start with the pass rush, with already having a multiple-time Pro Bowler in Gerald McCoy. I think adding Buckner to that team will make a much better pass rush, will make the team's pass rush look more dominant. With the number 10th pick in the draft, the New York Giants will be selecting Ezekiel Elliot out of Ohio State, the running back. And he's probably talent-wise the best choice at this point in the draft. Well, a lot of people that think that he's gonna be drafted somewhere else, I think this makes a lot of sense. With them having to share snaps with Rashard Jennings and Shane Green, this makes sense because Ezekiel Elliott can do it all and will be a great addition to the New York team. Now to the next pick are the Chicago Bears will select number 11. They will select Sean Robinson out of Alabama, the defensive end who can play both defensive end and tackle in the 3-4 scheme that the Chicago Bears will be running right now, but needs and personnel for the 3-4 system. This will help them a lot. Last year they drafted Eddie Goldman And with him and the Sean Robinson up front, I think they will have a great pass rush next year. Now to the number 12 pick are the New Orleans Saints, who will select Mackenzie Alexander out of Clemson. I think this doesn't make this makes a lot of sense with them needing a corner that can really try to cover the best of them in Julio Jones, Calvin Benjamin, or Mike Evans in their division. And I think he's a great pick for Saints. Now at the number 13 spot are the Philadelphia Eagles, who will select Carson Wentz out of North Dakota State University, the quarterback. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal combine, and I think he will go up in standings and could go as high as the second pick. But I think he will end up in Philly, and the fans will be happy because he looks good. Let's just put it that way. Now to the 14th pick in the draft, the Oakland Raiders will select Emmanuel Ogbah out of Oklahoma State University, the outside linebacker in the 3-4 system who can both play coverage and pass rush, but is more of a pass rush outside linebacker who can play the defensive end. With Smith having a year's suspension now and probably not playing as a Raider no more, I think he's a great pickup for Raiders and can make that front look even inferior for any other team. Now to the number 15 pick in the draft, and the Los Angeles Rams will select Jared Goff out of Cal, the quarterback. I think this could be the steal of the first round, as he could go as high as the second pick or drop, as you can see, low as the 15. I don't think he will go lower than this though. I think LA needs a real quarterback for the future, and I think that what Goff can give them. Now to the next player in the draft, with the 16th pick, the Detroit Lions will select Leonard Floyd out of Georgia. I think he's a great pick and makes a lot of sense for the Detroit Lions. With them needing players both outside linebacker and offensive line, I don't think they will go for an offensive line player, as they have already done it in a year past, and will try to get this player in the draft. To the next one are the Atlanta Falcons with the 17th pick in the draft. They will select Sean Oakman, defensive end of Baylor, and I think this makes a lot of sense with them having the fewest sacks last year in the NFL, and with Beasley Jr. last year's 8th overall pick coming back this season from his last season, which wasn't that great. I think they can have a great package next year. Now to the number 18th pick in the draft, and those are the Indianapolis Colts, who will select Taylor Decker out of Ohio State, the offensive tackle, and I think he's a great pick for them. They need to protect Andrew Luck. He of course went down with that injury to his arm / elbow, and I think he can help have like more time in the pocket so he doesn't make those stupid reads, and has a great career in the NFL. Now to the next one, the number 19 pick in the draft are the Buffalo Bills, and they will select Reggie Ragnold from Alabama, the inside linebacker. While a lot of people think they could go defensive line or even offensive line, I think they will go with the linebacker. While they would like to get rid of Williams, I don't think they will be able to get rid of any defensive lineman who have these huge ass contracts, and I think Reggie will fit in really nicely in Buffalo, because he already knows how to play this, in this kind of system where they have a great defensive line. In Alabama, he had the same thing, and I think he'll be a day one great player for Bills. Now, with the next pick are the New York Jets, who will select Jalen Smith, the outside linebacker of Notre Dame. He of course suffered that injury, and he will be back only the second part of the season in the NFL. And I think his stock has dropped now, but I don't think he will go lower than the number 20 pick in the draft. And they will pick him up as they need players at that outside linebacker position. He can go both pass rush and dropping coverage. I think he's a great player for the Jets and could be a steal if that injury doesn't really set him back for his career. Now with the next pick are the capital team, the Redskins. Will select Cody Whitehair, the offensive guard out of Kansas State University, and they need a center. And I think with this guy playing guard, they can maybe have somebody else play center who was a guard. I think Cody Whitehair is a great pick for Washington, who really need help at offensive line. Now to the next pick are the Houston Texans, who are selecting numbers 22. Select Derrick Henry out of Alabama, the running back, the Heisman Trophy winning running back, will go the number 22nd pick in the draft. And the reason being, they don't have Alfred Blue hasn't turned out to be that player they thought they were getting, and of course Arian Foster is injury prone and of course injured again last year. And I think getting Derrick Henry at this point in the draft is a great pickup for Houston. Now to the next one are the Vikings. Will select offensive tackle and Gerald Hawkins. With all the guys at the tackle position aren't that good. LSU's Gerald Hawkins is a great pick for them. Well, a lot of people think they're going to select a wide receiver, but I think, in my opinion, either they're going to get somebody in free agency, or they're going to draft a player in the second or the third round of the draft, not the first one. Now to the next one are the Cincinnati Bengals, who will select Robert Nkemdiche out of Ole Miss. He, of course, was higher on my mock draft last time, but in my opinion, he's beside the Cowboys. I don't see any team picking him that high, and with them able to get Joey Bosa at that point in the draft, I think probably Nkemdiche will draft the 24th spot for Cincinnati to pick up. Their passage is great, but it could be better with Robert Nkemdiche in there. You gotta say, it looks great. He has, of course, off-field issues, and that's the fact why he's going so low. But in my opinion, with those veterans in Cincinnati's pass rush, and basically the whole lines of both teams, of offense and defensive lines, being a lot of veterans there, I think his off-field issues will go away, and I think he could be one of the best players in the late round. Now to the next one are Pittsburgh Steelers, will select Eli Apple out of Ohio State, the corner. And I think, of course, this makes a lot of sense. With Steelers' defense on the pass was horrible last year. They didn't have a lot of interceptions and had a lot of miscommunications. And I think he can help that team at the corner. I think he can go invest them. I think he can cover AJ Green for the most part. And I think they really need a corner, and I think that's something that Eli Apple can do. With the next pick are the Seattle Seahawks, who will select Jermaine Ifedi, the offensive tackle out of Texas A&M. And I think this makes a lot of sense. They really need help with their offensive line. They had a lot of injuries at that tackle spot, and I think Jermaine Ifedi is a great pickup at the 26th pick in the draft. Now to the next one are the Packers, and the Packers will select Deron Lee out of Ohio State, the outside linebacker, who's a real great play in the coverage and can do something in the pass rush. Not that great, but much better coverage linebacker. Well, they could draft a defensive tackle at this point in the draft, with not having a number one real great defensive tackle. But I think they will select Deron Lee because they really need to find somebody at the left outside linebacker spot. A coverage linebacker. And I think Deron Lee is the right guy for the job. Now to the next one are the Kansas City Chiefs with the 28th pick in the draft. Yes, they select a defensive end in Kevin Dodd out of Clemson. A lot of people think they really need a wide receiver, but in my opinion, they have two free agents at the defensive line, and they want to go things to continue to be as they were last season in that pass rush. So I don't think they're going to re-sign any of those guys and will pick up Kevin Dart in that draft and develop him into a great pass rusher. Now to the next pick in the draft, our picking of the Arizona Cardinals will select defensive end Jonathan Ballard out of Florida. I think they will pick him up because of the fact that their defensive line isn't getting any younger. They're in their 29, 31 years old, and that kind of age. They will be there for a few years, but I think he can start maybe as a rotation player and come in and become a great player in that defensive line of Cardinals. And the next pick in the draft are the Broncos, and the Broncos will select Mack Alexander out of LSU, the offensive guard. I think with Mathis being 31 years old and being a free agent, makes a lot of sense to get a new guard. Not pay them money and get this new, fresh Waddle Alexander kid into that left guard or right guard spot where he will play. Now to the last pick of the first round are the Carolina Panthers with the 31st pick in the draft, and they will select Juan Bell, the safety at Ohio State, a strong safety. And I think with Harper, who's 33 years old, a free agent in this offseason, it makes sense to get a younger guy at that position who's a great player in Von Bell, and thank Harper for what he did for the team in his years there. And I think this is a great pick in Von Bell. And well, guys, thank you for watching my mock draft, the 2016 NFL Draft first round. I'll be doing an update in February. In the mid-February, I probably will make an update. Or maybe after the Super Bowl. Thanks for watching, and remember, guys, comment below with things you think didn't like in my mock draft, or things you don't think the teams will pick. I will answer any question you have, of course. And remember, you can subscribe to get my content, get notifications for my content. So thank you for watching, and see you guys next time. Peace out.